All right, today we are talking about all things buy back your time. Today we have 4 Zoom calls, one with a member inside of Agency U, where we're gonna work on productizing his offer even more. Then we have a group call teaching over 100 agency owners how to buy back their time step by step by step. I'm gonna take them through the exact process that they can use inside of their agency. Then we have a case study with a member who successfully was able to buy back their time and add more revenue using what we call the authority funnel. And then one more client call with my dude Haas, who has hit over $100,000 last month. And we're gonna walk through his operations and make sure that it's efficient and actually sustainable. Then we're gonna hit a run. Today started around 4:30 a.m., woke up, and one thing I'm trying out with my schedule is using those morning times to get into that flow state. When I have days where I just need to focus uninterrupted, what I'll do is I'll wake up, roll out of bed, head straight to the computer, head straight to the desk, and knock out 3-4 hours of work before basically the day starts. And for me, I feel like I'm able to get 6 hours of work done in that 3-4 hour time period because I'm able to just get in the zone, get in the flow states, and there's no interruptions, no calls, no Slack messages, which is really, really nice. So did that this morning. Then I went to the pool, did about a 3K swim down the street, which was a lot of fun. And then now we're here, ready to get after it. So let's go.
Yeah. And as the sun sets and the night falls.
So that was a call with a member inside of Agency U. He's actually in our Inner Circle program where I'm able to work with him and build a lot of stuff out for him. So he's fairly new to the program. So he's a 7-figure agency owner already, and he's been able to successfully grow mostly from referrals in having a really good skill set. The problem is he feels like a little bit of a employee almost, and kind of feels like his business is a little unpredictable, and makes a lot of sense because a lot of people, when they scale their agencies, when they grow their agencies, they grow because they have a really good skill set. So what we've been working really hard on in the last couple weeks is dialing in his offer and foundation and messaging and positioning, because it is unscalable to try to scale basically yourself and scale based off of referrals and word of mouth, because what's gonna happen, you're just gonna be in those cycles of feast and famine. So in order to go from the feast and famine, trying to scale it yourself, you need to productize your offer, productize your business for the most part, and come up with the strategy that is scaling. So what we're working on, since he's doing web dev and he does branding, he does a lot of different stuff, is we're working on the front end offer, which is going to be web dev. And then once the front end offer is dialed in, then we're going to do an ascension program into a retainer model, which makes a lot of sense. That's a lot of the clients that he serves. So what we're trying to do is actually dial in the positioning of it so that it speaks to the client's pain points, not saying, oh, I'll do anything you want, but basically positioned to make the client more money, solve the client's problems, which he's never done because he's just had referrals and he does really good work and he's grown based off of that. So been a lot of fun working with him. Super pumped for Ronnie. Now we're about to jump in the group call. So let's go.
Definitely go. Gotta get it how you live,
I'm gonna walk you through basically step by step how to buy back your time. These are theories that I use personally. 11 steps that I'm gonna jam through that we are going to just get straight into. Step number 1 is going to be what we call a start-stop list, or a time audit. And this is basically foundation to the job description, foundation to figuring out who we need to hire, and being really honest with everything that we're doing. So just do it for a week. Just have a stop list probably for a week's time. And this will be really revealing, probably a little bit painful for you. And you might feel kind of sad, but it'll be good. Next thing that we want to do is we want to basically just organize this, because this is basically to me, roles and responsibilities of someone that we can then hire. If we don't know what we're hiring for, or if we don't know what the roles and responsibilities are going to be, then it's going to be really challenging to go find somebody and then throw them in the deep end. What we want to do next is we want to actually define this even more through a role blueprint, which is basically your job description, which is basically your expectations and KPIs. Super boring work, but it is probably the most impactful work. Next thing is creating a job posting from the roles. A job posting is pretty much client acquisition. It's an ad. What we want to do from a job posting perspective is we want to sell the candidate on applying. Next thing is going to be creating an intake form for the role. Instead of us filtering through a bunch of resumes, clicking through, all we have to do is we have to open up our intake form. We can go to responses and we can see all the people, the responses. A few more steps is posting the job. I like to indicate where I'm posting it. So Indeed, Online Jobs at PH, Upwork, etc. Post it absolutely everywhere. So we want to funnel as many people into the top of the funnel as possible. Step number 7 is we want to create a daily winning formula. That is pretty much the crutch of your team member being able to reference, and it's a daily task that gets populated that if they do these daily tasks, that they'll get to the outcome of meeting or exceeding their KPIs. Systems and infrastructure. We need to create the infrastructure and the tools so that when we hire somebody with clear expectations, whatever we want them to do, there's basically like a dashboard for them to reference and everything is literally in front of them. Next one's productized onboarding. Just like onboarding your client is the most important part of the client journey, onboarding a team member is the most important part of the journey. Okay, last 2 points, review, interview, train. I'm gonna go through the intake form. I'll reach out to a few people and I'll either 1, have them send me a Loom video on why they feel like they're fit for this role, or 2, jump on a first interview. And then lastly, again, there's like train. And if you follow these steps, everything will be like super easy. Just wrapped up the group call, which was all about buying back time. Went through a 11-step process to buy back your time efficiently. I'm really passionate about this because I have seen the repercussions of doing this incorrectly, meaning I am hiring somebody, throwing them in the deep end, only for me to be frustrated and pissed off and then go back to square one and just being a glorified freelancer. I dealt with that for a really long time until we came up with like the talent acquisition funnel in order to draw in ideal talent. Once you're able to have a really good hiring process, you see people as part of your team, you have a really good systemized process, you're setting expectations, all that sort of stuff. Eventually, they do better than you. They turn into A players, they're bought into the mission, they're working really hard for you, and you grow your business without having to micromanage and do everything. But you need to follow the steps and do it correctly. Otherwise, you're just gonna continue to just go back to square one and be a glorified freelancer. Gabrielle, basically a YouTube case study. We like to interview our clients. Pretty cool with her. She's probably been with us for almost a year now. And first step was basically buying back her time, which is what we just talked about. And when I messaged her, I remember a couple months ago, I was like, how many hours do you think you've saved after like working with Agency U and what we've been able to do? And she's like, over 20. And now, since she's been able to buy back time, because that was the first mission, she needed more clients because she had more time. Now, we basically plugged in the authority funnel inside of her business and she spent $2,000 on ads and has made over $24,000. So pretty big testimonial, huge transformation. Big fan of Gabrielle.
When you trying to be righteous, but know a nigga might just leave you lifeless for prices. High-tech devices, agree to tech now to meet your crisis.
The crazy part is that if you actually learn how to buy back your time and build a business where it doesn't feel hard, all of a sudden the business can grow. Most people can't scale because their Achilles heel is the thing they're best at because they can't let go of. Once they overcome that, they're gonna make so much money. I guarantee they're gonna be sitting there just collecting cash because they've never seen cash accumulate in their bank account. These are real byproducts of buying back your time.